That's embarrassing. Well, hello. Welcome to the True Crime Lounge podcast. Today we're going to be starting a little new mini series about the mysterious death of George Reeves. Now, this goes with our old Hollywood crime little mini series as well, so it's kind of a confusion when a confusion mixed with confusion. But to simplify everything, we will be. We will basically be talking about George Reeves. Basically, if we had to, just to simplify this whole chaotic life we all have. Um, but most of y'all know I am a lover of old Hollywood. Like I can watch it all day, and I've done my research on old Hollywood, find out some of the craziest rules that they had to follow during this time period. Oh, by the way, if y'all see my bed messy like this, y'all don't see it. You're gonna pretend it's clean and everything. We have moved from my living room to my room, and also because I really do need to get some work in here done. I'm just trying to find the motivation to actually do it. Why is being an adult so hard? Um, but anyway, if you're new here, hit that like button, hit bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe, help a girl out. We had the sparkly bow out today because I just felt like being different. And this is my special occasion bow, so pretty sure there's a special occasion somewhere for me to be wearing this right now. But anyway, with that being said, why don't I dive in? Today, so on this first part, we're going to be talking about overview, Hollywoodland, Superman, and humble beginnings. So, with that being said, let's why don't I actually answer a question? Who exactly is George Reeves? How did he die? Um, well, simply put, George Reeves is best known for his role in The Adventures of Superman. He was 45 when he was found unalived, lying naked in his bed with a single gunshot wound in his temple in his Beverly Hills home in 1959. Now, though his death was ruled a suicide at the time, his mom um, would commission her own separate investigation. And there was even a speculation that would arise from an ex-lover, actress Tony Mannix. Now, that she orchestrated a hit on Reeves, and his death was the subject of a 2006 film in Hollywood. Um, George Reeves was he was an old Hollywood movie star. He was known for his good looks. Um, and he had also took advantage of them. Now, and he was truly a product of his generation, as he was the hero in a generation to a hero generation of children with just beginnings just to grow up on television, humble beginnings just to grow up on television. Now, he had a very promising future ahead of him in Hollywood, and on the surface, everything to live for. So why did George Reeves take his own life? Or here's the question: did he really take his own life? Um, George Reeves died at the age of 45 in his Beverly Hills home. Officially, it was ruled a suicide. For nearly half a century, the explanation was accepted by the general public, but in recent years, it has come to question. And in September 2006, there was a release of a Hollywood movie called Hollywoodland. And it was directed by Alan Coulter, and it was written by Paul Burnham. And it has unleashed a flurry of speculation suggesting that George Reeves death may have been in the hands of someone else. In the movies featuring Ben Affleck, as Reeves, often a few plausible alternative theories as well. Now, what about Hollywoodland? Well, mm, um, The tagline for the movie reads, "Living in Hollywoodland can make you famous. Dying in Hollywoodland can make you a legend." And at the time of his death, Reeves was at the peak of his career, acting, attaining nearly legendary status. And as his title character in TV series The Adventures of Superman from 1952 to 1958, he was famous as the President of the United States. And the movie stars who have been in business much longer. All over the country, many children stopped playing, and ran inside to watch him on TV. And the show came on. His heroic fighting in the bad guys is a never ending battle for the truth, justice, and American way. And they were a byproduct of the World War II generation. So, let's talk about him and Superman, okay? Although the series had been canceled just before his death, Reeves was reported to have been despondent over it. And he is still has some bright career prospects looming in front of him as he still has his looks, his marvelous physique, and his talent. And other films offered would undoubtedly come his way. And the film series was about to be regenerated for the 1960-1961 season. On the surface, he seemed to have everything to live for, so why would someone commit suicide 3 days just before he was supposed to be married? Or or a day before his widely publicized championship boxing matchup? Well, like most mysteries, there was more questions than answers. Such in the case was the mysterious surroundings of his death. And although the case is still considered closed, there no irrefutable evidence has surfaced to warrant reopening the widespread speculation persists nonetheless. Yeah, I gotta go blow my nose here shortly. But Reeves would come from humble beginnings. Um, on January 5th, 1914, he was born in Woolstock, Iowa, and he was born George Kiefer George Kiefer Brewer, located at Hours Drive, north of the state of the capital of Des Moines. Woolstock is today is a farming village of slightly more than 200 people, sparsely populated throughout. Now, his mom, Helen Lesser Brewer, gave birth to him less than 9 months after her wedding, Don C. Brewer. In those days, there was a stigma about premarital sex, so his birthday was originally given as April 5th. Now, his mom lied to him about his birthday, and it was not until his adulthood that he learned the truth. And she was reportedly lied to him after she divorced Brewer, telling George that his dad unalived himself. Now, she will later marry Frank Joseph Bozzolo, and out of respect for his stepfather, who legally adopted him in 1927, he would take his name, and he retained it until 1939, when he changed it to more Hollywood-sounding George Reeves. Now, when George was an adult, his mom divorced Bozzolo, relocated to Pasadena, um, and his mom and he became an amateur boxer, but reportedly gave it up because of Helen's concerns for his well being. Later, he attended Pasadena Junior College, where he became interested in acting. He interned at a number of live stage productions of the Pasadena Playhouse, where great actors performed early in their career. And it wasn't until there that he met Eleanor Needless, whom he married in September 1940. And the marriage lasted 10 years, but they had no children. And then one day, he was discovered. Um, that is it for part one of our four-part series. Join me next time as we talk about Going with the Wind, After War, Superman, and Daily Planet. Y'all have a great day and a happy